Come on, you got this. Push it.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take complex science and, well, boil it down for you. Today, we're really tearing into one of the absolute giants of the supplement world, creatine monohydrate.
Yeah.
Hugely popular, massively researched, but still surrounded by myths.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're tackling. Our mission today is basically to synthesize all that evidence, hundreds of studies really, and just lay it out. How well does it actually work? What are the real limits? And crucially, let's finally put those safety concerns, especially about kidneys, to bed.
Okay, and let's just start with the headline finding here. The science is overwhelmingly positive, isn't it? It strongly supports creatine for boosting muscle strength, power, and building lean mass, provided you're actually doing the resistance training alongside it.
Exactly. It's not magic, you need the stimulus. But let's talk mechanism. How does it give you that boost? Well, fundamentally, it supercharges your muscle's energy system. Taking creatine monohydrate significantly increases the phosphocreatine, that's PCR stored inside your muscles. We're talking like 20 to 40% increases.
Okay, so more PCR. What does that actually do during a workout?
Think of PCR as like an instant battery backup for your muscles. When you're doing really intense exercise, like lifting heavy, you burn through your main energy currency, ATP, very fast. Having more PCR allows your body to regenerate that ATP much, much quicker. So you can push harder for longer, maybe get out an extra rep or two. It boosts your anaerobic capacity.
Right, that makes sense biochemically. But let's talk results. How does that translate into, actual weight on the bar? Do we see measurable differences?
Oh, absolutely. And they're not trivial gains either. A big meta-analysis from 2024 really highlights this. When you pool the data, you see a very clear effect. For upper body strength, think bench press, the average improvement over placebo was about 4.43 kilograms.
4.5 kilos, that's pretty solid.
Right.
But I remember the lower body numbers were even more striking.
They really were. For things like squats or leg presses, the average gain was a substantial 11.35 kilograms more than the placebo group. Imagine compounding that over months of training. And it's not just strength. People taking creatine also gained, on average, about 1.14 kilos more lean body mass, often while losing a bit more body fat too, around 0.73 kilograms more fat loss.
Okay, that brings up the classic question, though. People start taking it, the scale jumps up a kilo or two almost immediately.
Yeah.
Isn't that just, water weight?
Well, yes and no. That initial quick gain is primarily water. Creatine acts as an osmolyte, meaning it pulls water into the muscle cells. But here's the really interesting part. That cell swelling itself seems to be a signal. It's hypothesized to be an anabolic stimulus.
Anabolic stimulus.
Meaning the muscle cell kind of senses this increased volume, this pressure, and interprets it as a trigger to grow. It kicks off processes like muscle protein synthesis. So that initial water retention might actually help stimulate real long-term muscle hypertrophy, not just temporary puffiness.
All right, let's shift gears to the big one, the safety question. The elephant in the room that just won't leave. Kidneys. Why is this still a thing after decades of research?
It persists mainly because of a misunderstanding of basic blood tests, honestly. But let's start with the overall safety data because it's incredibly clear. A massive analysis looked at 685 clinical trials over 26,000 people, and it found the rate of reported side effects in the creatine groups was, statistically speaking, identical to the placebo groups, like 4.60% versus 4.21%. It's basically the same as taking a sugar pill.
Indistinguishable from placebo. That's pretty definitive. So, why the kidney confusion then? If I go get a blood test while taking creatine, could it look worrying to my doctor?
It absolutely could, and that's the crux of the issue. Creatine naturally breaks down in your body into a waste product called creatinine. When you supplement with creatine, you naturally have more creatine being broken down, so your blood creatinine levels rise slightly. It's a harmless byproduct. But standard kidney function tests, especially the estimated glomerular filtration rate, or eGFR, use creatinine levels in their calculation. So the test sees this higher but totally benign creatinine level and mistakenly interprets it as potentially reduced kidney function.
So the test is just reading the number, not the reason for the number.
Exactly. And we have long-term studies following people for up to 5 years, consistently showing zero negative impact on kidney or liver function in healthy individuals taking standard doses. The scientific consensus is very strong on this.
That's a critical point for people to understand. So for someone listening who's convinced now and wants to start, what's the practical advice? Dosing.
Keep it simple. Creatine monohydrate is still the one to go for. It's the most studied and typically the cheapest. You can do a loading phase like 20 grams a day, split up for 5 to 7 days, which saturates your muscles faster. But it's not strictly necessary. Just taking a maintenance dose of 3 to 5 grams per day will get you there eventually. Consistency is really the key. Just take it every day.
Or maybe adjust based on weight. I think I saw a figure for that.
Yeah, a more precise approach, especially for larger individuals, or if you skip the loading, is about zero point 0.1 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. That helps ensure you're really hitting saturation levels.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the verdict seems pretty clear. Creatine monohydrate is demonstrably effective for improving strength, power, and lean mass when combined with training. And crucially, for healthy people, the long-standing safety concerns, particularly around kidney health, are just not supported by the vast body of scientific evidence.
Absolutely. But here's a final thought to chew on, something the data hints at. Achieving that full muscle saturation seems vital for getting the best results. But that standard 5-gram scoop might not be optimal for everyone. Maybe it's less effective for, say, women compared to men on average, or definitely for bigger guys over 100 kilos, perhaps.
So the takeaway for the listener.
Maybe consider if you should personalize that dose. Calculate that 0.1 gram per kilo of body weight target. Are you hitting it? Because simply taking a scoop might mean you're not actually getting enough creatine into your muscles to unlock those top-tier benefits we talked about. Something to think about for maximizing your own results.